In 2013, there were two teams in the Peach Belt Conference that tied for the regular season crown. Those two teams will now meet in 2014 for the first time here at the Walden Soccer Complex in Columbus, Georgia. Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Walden Soccer Complex on the campus of Columbus State University. Stephen Williams here with you, alongside my partner, Tony Frankovich, as we get set for the second-ranked and unbeaten Columbus State Lady Cougars taking on the 17th-ranked Clayton State Lakers, and this is a matchup, Tony. We're in a stretch of about 10 days. This is the middle of that stretch where the Peach Belt Conference regular season is being decided, and this is the second of those three games.
No doubt. Good afternoon, everybody, on a wonderful day in Columbus, Georgia. This is actually second of three between three top teams that they're playing. First for CSU. I think this is the game going to give us indicative what we're going to see next two games. And Clayton State coming off a big loss, that's tricky a little bit whether they're going to swim or they're going to sink, and CSU didn't look terribly good in first game, so we'll see today what real CSU look like.
Columbus State coming into this one 11-0-1 on the season, just a draw against Lee in non-conference action, the only blemish, if you can call it that, on their record so far. For Clayton State, 12-2-0, and as you mentioned, they were kind of dismantled a little bit on Wednesday. They went to Dahlonega to take on North Georgia and fell 5-0 after they had 7 consecutive shutouts.
They missed actually their starting goalkeeper McCormick, so that has to do a lot with it. But I watched a little bit of that game, and North Georgia just took it to him playing long ball, set plays goals, and it was really outstanding performance by Chris Adams and his North Georgia. So we'll see what Clayton State going to look like today. I mean, how much impact that loss will be on them.
For the Lady Cougars, they come out in their home all-white uniforms. It's Mandy Janowitz, Nicole Corsione, and Chelsea Pearson up top. Kelsey Pelletier, Taylor Marks, Shelby Rowling in the midfield. And the back line of Becca Calder, Jessica Sauer, Casey Davis, Andy Larice with Malin Parsons, the sophomore, in net as we're officially underway on this Saturday afternoon. A perfect day in Columbus, Georgia. Teacher Appreciation Day, as right off the bat, a quick look that time for the Lakers. Maria Marti-Bartis, one of the top 20 scorers nationally, and this one is the Lady Cougars a little bit lazy off the opening kick.
Exactly. That's the way Clayton State got scored on up in North Georgia. I've been hurt by this kind of long deep ball passes straight. We were sleeping a little bit. We dodged the ball at that time. Usually very efficient goal scorer missed a goal at that time.
For the Lakers in their navy uniforms, the white numerals and the orange trim, Charlotte McCormick, after sitting out the match against North Georgia, is back in net. Denisha Pascal, along with Emily Walling, Laura Molman, Gensilia Villaverde, Nina Boganis, Sive Collins, Maria Marti-Bartis, Lucy Cunningham, Jamila Bryant, and Rachel Schmidt. The starting 11 for Gareth O'Sullivan in his 4th season at the helm there in Morrow, Georgia, as another free kick opportunity is going to wind up in the net for Clayton State, and it takes all of a minute and 12 seconds to get them on the board.
This is a really, really unbelievable play, unbelievable kick that every coach wants to do, that in-swinger toward the far post. If somebody touches the ball, it's going to go in, and or if it doesn't, then it's going to go in a goal, because keeper is stuck to the middle of the goal, couldn't react in time to follow that ball because of those attackers. And this is a really ominous sign, and a very good sign for Clayton State, must admit. Doesn't seem that loss bothered them at all.
That Laker goal will be going to Sive Collins, the junior out of Dublin, Ireland. Her 2nd goal of the season. This her 13th start of the year. And I was talking with some people beforehand. After the way Wednesday went for the Lakers, you thought this one was going to go one of two ways. Either they were going to come out like the house was on fire and run and blitz everything and be outstanding today, or they were going to let it linger and they were going to be terrible, and there probably wasn't any middle ground. And right off the bat, they come out and put a goal on the board in the first 75 seconds.
They came here to win the game. That's so obvious. They came to play. And fortunately for them, they scored early goal, and now they can dictate a little bit how it's going to be played.
It was Clayton State that handled the Lady Cougars well in Morrow last year in this regular season meeting. That was a 3-0 Clayton State victory on their way to an unbeaten conference record, but with 3 ties. They ended up tying the Lady Cougars in points overall as Mandy Janowitz gets ahead on one. For a second there, it wasn't handled cleanly by McCormick, but she's able to fall on it. The Lakers, though, met the Lady Cougars again in the NCAA tournament, the opening round game up at Wingate University. And it was Chelsea Pearson who netted a goal very early in the first 10 minutes of that one. That ended up being the only goal that was scored that afternoon, eliminated the Lakers from the NCAA tournament and sent CSU into the second round.
I believe that Clayton State was a very good team. You know, they had that record. I think that's a really unfortunate and slip up. They lost to North Georgia, but I think they're a way better team than that. They have a lot of international players. It's funny thing, this game is pretty much local Georgia girls, most of it, against the international team.
Now these two teams built very, very differently as far as where they're assembled from. As you mentioned, the Clayton State roster, players from all over the entire world. Laura Molman from Germany, Nina Bogenis from Norway, Maria Marti Bartis out of Spain, Collins, who scored the goal, from Ireland, Melissa Hetherington, one of their better players, out of England. As this is Marty Bartis trying to track one down. They have Tamaki Onuma, who is out of Japan. They have a couple others from Germany and England. They have one from Norway, one from Sweden. So Coach O'Sullivan, he is from overseas as well, and he has assembled an international group of players there in Morrow. This is Pearson on the left side, able to step inside the box. She'll chip one towards the net and hits the wrong side of it as she hit just outside the near post.
She had wide open Corsione in the middle, plus two more men in the middle. You know, I prefer pass. That's pretty tough angle, but if you want to shoot, you're shooting for far post. Hook that ball to far side, low. She had, as I said, on edge of the box, inside of the box, Corsione, a little slip pass. You know, there will be 100% scoring chance.
Charlotte McCormick in net for Clayton State, was not in net as a handball goes against Janowitz of CSU. Was not in net on Wednesday night in the 5-0 loss. She was red carded in the 55th minute of a 0-0 game against Lander in the game right before that one for the Lakers. So she was not available to play. Tina Firing, a freshman goalkeeper out of Norway, filled her spot there in the Lander game, played the final 35 minutes, picked up the victory there in a 1-0 win, and then played the first 66 minutes or so of the game on Wednesday, but gave up 5 goals. McCormick back in there, and now she'll face Pelletier, chipping one into the center. There's a chance for Pelletier. It got through her. Marks on the other side, squaring herself up into the center for Corsione with the left foot and a diving save. Didn't quite hit it squarely, but that time a different approach and more of the approach you were asking for.
Exactly. You know, this was really great. Well done from building up that play, going on flank, good cross, and then good concentration over there by Marks, and this was all around very good. This is good sign for CSU. Talking about this, you know, this is CSU Columbus versus United Nations.
These Lady Cougars 11-0-1. They're 2 wins away from the best start ever in program history as they're working again on the left flank. This is Pearson just outside the box, dribbles around the defender, trying to cross. It's touched away that time by Jamila Bryant. But all of a sudden, it seems like that early goal was a wake-up call for the Lady Cougars, and it's been all in this end since Clayton put one on the board.
It seems so, but even in this instance, you know, what we witnessed Wednesday, you know, we don't have enough people in the box. Right now, we have 2 people in the box, cross coming, and fourth one coming. It was like 4v6, 4v7. We need more people in there.
They'll play it short over to Andy Larice. She'll take a shot at it, going up high and up over the crossbar. You saw McCormick, who's listed at 5'9", and who you and I agree is a lot taller than 5'9" out there. She can reach up and just slap that crossbar. So it's going to be tough to sneak one over the top of her in net.
Low shots, you know, that's why I was begging for that low shot earlier.
Here's a giveaway. Pelletier on the turnover, gives it off to Janowitz, looking for the cross, finds Kelsey, able to handle it off to Marks. Her shot looked like it was deflected. And another corner kick coming, but now you've got the Clayton State defense on its heels. Now you've got to deposit one of your own and start this game over.
You know, it doesn't seem CSU is bothered now with that score line. He actually brought a little bit more urgency, and I like they keep their concentration. They're not panicking. They're looking for each other, looking for man with a better option to score the goal.
Taylor Marks hitting this corner, hits it outside the 18, deflected by Janowitz. CSU will reset for a moment. Calder into the center. Chipped around. Marty Bartis, who's back from her midfielder spot, will play this one out in another corner coming up.
They're pretty much putting 10 all 11 people, including goalkeeper, in the box. One is outside now, but
yeah, there's no forward up with Casey
No.
Davis, who's standing by herself in midfield.
They don't care about counterattack right now. They just want to flood that box.
Well, and that's the benefit you get of getting an early goal. You've got what you need to win if you can keep the other team off the board now. And this Clayton State team has a good defense. They had 7 consecutive shutouts going prior to Wednesday's 5-0 loss as Taylor Marks' cross goes over the goal line for another goal kick.
We finally had 1v1 in box 3v3 actually around 6-yard line, framing the goal. That cross will be and must be better than that by Marks and other players too. Service got to be better if you want to win this game.
For Columbus State, unbeaten to this point, 13-0-1, the best ever start. That was back in 2009. They need to win the next 2 games to do so, but what a next 2 games, counting today, it is for CSU. You look at their schedule, and there were pockets of it. There was a very tough stretch right out of the gate where they saw West Florida, who was ranked number 2, when they saw Rollins, who was ranked number 9, Texas A&M Commerce, who was an NCAA quality team in the past. They saw Lee, they saw Armstrong, and then the schedule sloughed off a little bit. You know, they had the stretch here where they had USC Aiken, Georgia College, Young Harris, Georgia Southwestern, Flagler, the bottom half of the Peach Belt Conference. And I think on Wednesday you saw it all kind of culminate together in a lackluster performance because there just hadn't been any competition for them lately.
Exactly. I think that has to do a lot with being sluggish, you know, in the beginning here. But you know, there was quick wake-up call. You know, 4 o'clock in the morning. You don't like to get up, but now you have to, and you got to go full steam ahead.
And now this starts the next pocket of it. You get Clayton State here, North Georgia coming up on Wednesday on the road in Dahlonega, and then Lander comes in here next Saturday for Senior Day. So it's a second pocket as this ball's loose in the box, and a CSU foul coming up will give it back away. But this is the stretch that will determine how your regular season goes, and there's a lot on the line because Clayton and North Georgia, they're right there with you in that top 3 in the region at the moment, and they are all jockeying not only for top seeds in the Peach Belt, but you're talking host sites for the NCAA.
That's actually more important than anything else. But I said that these teams are good. North Georgia is for real. That this stretch, we may as well end up with a 3-way tie. You know, so I hope not. But all these teams are really good teams.
For there to be a 3-way tie, you would assume that Clayton State would have to win today to keep that alive. Otherwise, they're talking about having 2 losses if they were to take a loss today. So there's really even more desperation in their basket today after what happened to them on Wednesday night because they can't afford a second loss in conference.
They cannot. And they came to win the game. You know, now they maybe can change a little bit tactics and hold on to that to this very slim lead.
Most of the time when we watch the Lady Cougars play, the coach on the bench of the opposition doesn't generally register well to where Jay Entlick has done in his career. Gareth O'Sullivan, though, not the case. This is a guy with a national championship pedigree behind him. He won a Division II national championship back in 2002 from Christian Brothers University over in Memphis. He won a national championship there. He went on, started the West Georgia women's program, and then he started coaching professionally over in Iceland in their Premier League, and then he coached the Atlanta Beat, the WPSL professional team up there in Atlanta, coaching a bunch of the U.S. women's national team players, Hope Solo, Tobin Heath, some of the others that these Lady Cougars and Lakers are so familiar with. He's coached them, so there's a pretty good guy on the sideline for Clayton State this afternoon as well.
It's a pretty good guy for anybody to have, wealth of experience, you know, and it's a really unbelievable coach to have. They are very fortunate to have him on their sideline.
This is a as good as it gets, really, between two coaches on the sideline.
Exactly.
Even though they don't determine the game, they have a lot to do with it.
Oh yeah, that's all preparation for a game. Battle is half of won if you prepare good for it. You know, it's on the field. It's just expression of that preparation.
This Clayton State program was very, very down when Gareth O'Sullivan took it over back in 2011. This was a bunch that actually tied Columbus State for the conference championship back in 2005, and then they completely dropped off. Fell down, didn't have anything going for them until Coach O'Sullivan rolled into town, and he has gradually worked them into an upper elite team inside the Peach Belt Conference. They went 6th in his first year. They moved to 4th in year 2, tied for 1st last year, and they're right there battling again for 1st this year. And they've really added something new to the conference that had been dominated by North Georgia, Armstrong, and Columbus State.
Oh, definitely. He knows what he wants, what kind of players he needs. You know, he bring him from all over the world. So definitely they're going to be, in years to come, they're going to be really up there with schools that you mentioned.
This Clayton State team, though, last year on their way to a Peach Belt title as the offside flag comes up against Pelletier. They had a flair for the dramatics. How about this? They go 12-4-6, so you do the math. That's 22 matches for them. 10 of those went to overtime. That's tough to do.
Yes, it is. So that tells you about them. It doesn't bother them being in overtime.
There's no pressure.
No, they take it as it meant to be.
This is rolling, clearing one over towards the clubhouse of the Lady Cougars. Off to our left here in the press box. Good crowd on hand today. A lot of people in town to watch the Lady Cougars, the number 2 team in the country, but the number 2 team right now on the wrong end of a 1-0 score. As Clayton State got one before a lot of you probably hopped in here with us. Less than 2 minutes in, Sive Collins off a free kick from just across midfield, had one bounce away and get loose and found its way into the net. Now we've got a keeper off its mark.
Hit it.
Corsione needing to hit it, not going to do so, but now here's a numbers advantage.
Far post, hit it.
Pelletier dribbling in to the center, trying to go with the left foot, and I can already hear you. Too much dribbling.
Exactly. She should receive with right foot, hit a low far post shot. Same area that she was shooting at, same location on the goal, but left foot, lot weaker foot, you know, and the ball was easy, safe for tall keeper. She had a perfect opportunity receiving the ball, touch it at positive touch toward the goal, and even inside of the foot, you know, hard, low shot. That we would be at tie right now. These little mental mistakes, I would say, can make a difference today. For their goal, I know they scored early goal on us. It was ominous sign that on first play, our defense was caught flat-footed.
Right off the opening kick.
And even on that one, on this goal, you normally wouldn't think that's going to be goal, but that was just phenomenal cross, that deep ball toward the goal, far post. Marilyn Parsons couldn't move from the middle because there was oncoming players going, so she had to stay in the middle. When she saw the ball went through, she tried to make it. She had touch on it, but it was just too good of a shot. This kind of cross that they score, it's half a shot, half a cross. It's actually intended on a cross, but also is intended to go at the goal.
Sive Collins, the injured Laker, down, so they'll make a substitution here. Lois Edvardsson, the senior out of Sweden, coming on to play in the Clayton State back line. Good play by Janowitz to wrestle that one away from Emily Walling. The ball deflected around. Pelletier again on the receiving end. Drops it off for Corsione on the near side of the field. Working one-on-one with the defender, Walling, that time, and it's Walling who plays it over the end line, and another corner kick coming up for the Lady Cougars.
I'm pleased the way CSU played. This is way better performance than against Flagler. They are on. Unfortunately, we down 1-0, but CSU playing very good game. Everybody moving. I've seen it. They looking for combination play. We look very, very dangerous every time we attack Clayton State.
This is Marks, got around the defender, looking for a cross, headed away by Walling. Calder will hit it, and that one towards the net was way off the mark. and off to the right side, and it'll belong back into the hands of McCormick for another goal kick.
Calder shouldn't rush that. She could have controlled that ball. Then she have option either to cross it if they give it to a play it back across to the right flank. This is not kind of, it's cross when her people in the middle teammates were coming out. It's hard to cross it. They return and they go straight. She has to wait just for a sec.
This game is played primarily in the attacking third for the Lady Cougars, but that one time it did get down the other end. It resulted in a goal for the Lakers, and they hold the 1-0 advantage. It has not been very often this season that Columbus State has had to play from behind, so this is a rare spot for them to look up on the scoreboard and be chasing a goal, despite the fact that there's still a dearth of time remaining.
Again, big ball, long ball through, direct play to
Casey Davis able to get rid of that one with the long kick away after they tried to play one over the top to Marty Bardis. Marty Bardis along with Lucy Cunningham, two very impact newcomers.
Exactly, both of them from Bartis is from Girona, Spain, Catalonia, and Cunningham from England. They are very good players. They both scored 11 goals, leading goal scorers.
Top 20 in the country right now.
Top 20 in the country, and they seems to be very good players.
Now we've got two players tangled up, Taylor Marks and Emily Walling tangled up, and they're going to hit Marks with the foul there. The two of them scramble down to the turf, but you're looking at those two girls. They come in, and you, for Clayton State last year, you had Denisha Pascal as a freshman who had 13 goals, and you had Hetherington who had 11, and those two have been pushed out of the starting spots at forward because these two have come in, and they've scored 11 apiece. So Clayton State, while they may not be quite as strong in a couple other spots as they were last year, they're very, very strong up top.
They are, and those are two creative danger. You can see movement of the ball by both of them. They look to me as good as they come at this level. But
they're a lot more direct players. They don't rely on everybody else to set them up. They can do it for themselves.
yeah, they can. Sure, they can.
Pelletier able to win the one-on-one race with Molman to that one. Calder coming up for it. The pass is off target, and now you start off. This is Pascal on the run. Marty Barnes, the one out in front of her. Sauer, the defender, in her way, and the pass, not enough touch on it, and Malin Parsons will come and get it. The Clayton State Lakers, though, the one they miss was the Peach Belt Conference Player of the Year last year, Alicia Robinson, a midfielder for that team last year that wasn't a goal scorer. She wasn't winning Peach Belt Conference Player of the Year because she was a goal scorer, but she did everything else for this team. She set everything up. She orchestrated everything offensively for this Lakers squad, and ironically, the Lady Cougars ran into her during their overseas trip they had. They went over to England, played in their English tour they take once every 4 years, played a game against the Aston Villa Football Club ladies, and who was on the opposite side? None other than Alicia Robinson, who they just saw in the fall. So that was an interesting twist to things when they got over there and played.
No doubt, it's actually, you love that, you're meeting somebody so far away, that you played against, although you're rivals, but all of a sudden they become, as a friend, you see long lost friend.
The Lady Cougars were glad to see her no longer in a Clayton State uniform, though. She only had 5 career goals during her time at Clayton State, 2 of those against Columbus State, though. So she liked playing against this group.
It seems so. I'm sure Coach Jay wouldn't mind, that she stays back home in England.
She may be watching, and if so, they're glad you're not here.
Hello, Alicia. We're very happy that you're not here.
And that's meant in the uppermost of compliments.
Just kidding. We would love to have her in this.
Casey
country.
Davis with the long free kick. Corsione got a head on it, but her header was a little wide of the mark off to the left.
No doubt, Clayton State looking for Maria Bartis all the time, and she making moves. She looks like a real soccer player. She coming from wonderful Catalonia, Spain. Outside of Barcelona, more inland, Girona is a very beautiful place. So she got a good pedigree, soccer pedigree, as a lot of these other international players that Clayton State have.
Columbus State, of course, split the two meetings, as we told you, with Clayton State last year. One in the regular season belonging to Clayton State, one in the NCAA tournament belonging to CSU. As we get another sub coming on here for the Lady Cougars, Cassandra Wade will come on for the first time in place of Kelsey Pelletier. Kiana Nicholson out there as well in place of Mandy Janowitz. The last time these two teams played on this field, though, it was a rather memorable afternoon a couple of years ago, back in 2012, a game the Lady Cougars scored the first 2 goals. Clayton State equalized it, though, with 2 goals in 5 minutes with under 20 minutes to go. We went all the way to double overtime, and it was one of the unlikely heroes. It was off a free kick for CSU from near midfield, a ball that bounced around. Keeper got off her mark, and Ashley Miller wound up on the end of it, just outside the 18, lobbed a perfect ball in. A Clayton State defender tried to head it away, but it ended up going off of her head and into the net in the 106th minute of double overtime to give CSU a 3-2 victory.
This setting up to might be as a dramatic game as that one. I hope not. CSU can do the job earlier. I mean, we had 3-4 really glorious opportunities. We need to cash on those. Otherwise, we may have that dramatic end of the game in this one too.
They'll get another corner kick chance coming here after Chelsea Pearson hits one off the leg of a Laker defender. Taylor Marks coming to the side to take it. 5 corner kicks already, and they'll play it short. Nobody defending Becca Calder. Right back to Marks, looking across now. She'll hit one into the center. Pascal, the only one there on the receiving end of that. And it looked like, as you mentioned, there were only 3 people in the box for the Lady Cougars. Here's a good ball, though. Molman beat Cassandra Wade to it. Corsione wins it back. It's still loose in the box. And finally cleared outside. Nicholson with it. Nicholson looking to cross. It hits off of McCormick's hands, and it's going to turn into a corner kick for CSU. McCormick there may have been able to let it go, but didn't want to take any chances on that near post.
Let's see what we're going to do from this. We don't have anybody attacking near post. We need to have somebody attacking that near post. Most of these crosses were coming on near post. Hopefully we're going to have hard run by Corsione or somebody to flick that ball in. Because that tall keeper, you're going on middle to far post, you can get all those. You have to try to get it on a near. Try to attack that in-swinger from that side with this perfect opportunity. Earlier situation, Wade let the ball bounce down. She should have tried to control that ball. That little bounce gave defender enough chance to come and clear that ball away. We'll see now. We still have 4 people. We need more people in the box. It's just game of numbers.
Taylor Marks out to take the 6th corner kick for the Lady Cougars. Nothing has come of them so far. This one touched by Sauer, kept alive. Tori Hood, who just subbed on. It's bouncing around, and Pascal finally clears it out. Sauer trying to center it up. Finds Tori Hood with it. Trying to touch it to herself, and it'll result in another throw, so they continue to keep the pressure on as Shea Wilby gets set to check in now for the Lady Cougars. Corsione will come off, but all the attacking that CSU has done hasn't resulted in anything yet.
We get him out of that box, out of pressure very cheaply. One person pressuring half-hearted, about 3-4 defenders around ball. We really need to press him hard in the box. Well, ball is loose, 50-50. Try to create something.
Wilby flicks the header towards the box. It's deflected away. Shelby rolling, trying to play it to herself. Crosses with the left. Missed timed clearance that time on the part of Edvardson. But McCormick able to recover, scramble out to get it.
Wade was behind her. I wish she can step just one step in front of her. You initially start behind her, but once ball is about to be crossed, you just quickly step in front and try to stick your foot in there. You can't wait. The ball's going to go through you, waiting for error or something.
Stephen Williams, Tony Frankovich here with you on Cougar Sports TV. The 2nd-ranked Lady Cougars trailing 1-0 to 17th-ranked Clayton State here at the Walden Soccer Complex. as the Lakers pick up a goal in the 2nd minute from Sive Collins off a long, long free kick. Headed in by Wilby. Wade flicks it to the center. And a foul will come up against Kiana Nicholson, as going down to the turf that time was Rachel Schmidt, the junior, out of Snellville, Georgia.
Rachel Schmidt made great play there. It was an intentional pass. Kiana was focusing on ball, tried to shoot it, and Rachel came out of nowhere and cleared that ball. That's a good play and good call by referee.
Down under 20 minutes to go in this opening half. The second-ranked Lady Cougars unbeaten on the season, but trailing for one of the rare moments this year. Down 1-0 to Clayton State.
Regardless of final outcome of this game, I think it's very good for CSU to battle back from behind, because eventually they will play somebody that's going to be behind. They got to get used to it and play with comfort while they're behind. So far, there's no panic, and they seems to be they believing in themselves, their abilities, and they need to continue doing what they're doing.
Here's one of the rare chances in this first half, outside of the first 2 minutes, that Clayton State has been able to get anything going, as they'll get a corner kick coming up. It's coming to the near side. Cunningham, the one who comes to the near side. The only time the Lady Cougars have trailed prior to today was their conference match at Armstrong, in which they gave up 2 early goals, fell behind 2-0, battled back, tied that one up in regulation, won it in overtime. The corner kick from Cunningham gets through everybody and over to the far side of the field. A long run for Edvardson, but she can't track it down. So you have an experienced Lady Cougar bunch, but a bunch that hasn't experienced being behind very often this season.
And that's the key.
It's a different mindset.
It is. But so far, I don't think it bothered them as much. They're playing their game, they're not panicking, they're not pumping ball up. So they're still trying to create something. Well, there you go. There's a good chance. If she plays it early, right now, well.
Tori Hood into the box after a great pass. The cross looking for Nicholson. 2 players go down. Nothing happens, and it's a clearance away out of trouble.
Wilby was wide open.
Yeah, Shea Wilby running right down the center of the field. CSU, though, has been good offensively over the last 25 minutes or so. It was just those first 2 minutes they weren't good. They just haven't finished a chance that they've had at this point.
This was fantastic chance. Early ball. Wilby was onside. It's basically passed over penalty spot. It's almost like a penalty kick. If she just didn't need that first additional touch, once when she touched the ball, defense recovered, and they had numbers back. 3 players were framing that goal, and that chance was wasted.
This Lady Cougar bunch, the starting line of its forwards off the field right now. Nicholson, Wilby, and Hood. Sounds like a law firm. They're the ones that are playing up top at the 3 forward positions right here for Columbus State. And as we've mentioned in previous broadcasts, that's the thing about this CSU team. You take out that starting lineup, it doesn't really change a whole lot. The talent might drop off slightly, but it's still a very good group that's very capable of scoring that you bring in behind them. You look at that 3 up top. Nicholson already this season has 4 goals to her name, as does Tori Hood. So there's 8 between those 2.
Yeah, usually that's a foul there.
Nothing called by our referee in the center as Wilby was knocked down from behind. 22 on 22. It was Edvardson that knocked her down. CSU, though, continues to play with numbers forward.
There you go. Rowling needs to get involved more offensively. She kind of liked to stay there, but there was chance that she can go, and
she'll chip one into the center.
That was offside, but
and Tori Hood a little bit late, as you called it, was a little late getting back onside. The flag comes up on the near side ref.
This game and next game, CSU gonna get motherload of set plays. Both teams seems to me. Clayton State is very dangerous. North Georgia even more. Chris Adams really drilled that team to the single detail, how to play, how to do those set plays. They're very dangerous. I've seen him they're very, very dangerous. CSU may have a problem with set plays and free kicks. Of
That was a
North
problem
Georgia.
for them last year. As another offsides call coming up, this time on Cassandra Wade, but set pieces was where they struggled last year. We had a running count going at one time, and I don't know what it finished at, but it was a good percentage of their goals last year that they allowed came off of free kicks and off of corner kicks. It was something that they worked on every day in practice, but for some reason there was something about it that they could not as a team get down and gave up a lot of goals that way.
It might be a little bit mental thing as well. It's the same problem. We're talking about highest level, Real Madrid, European champions. They're giving up way too many set plays goals of corners, free kicks. So you're talking about players who are a team that's worth it probably $300 million. You know, they're giving up same thing. So that must be chink in the armor of CSU.
Offsides flag coming up this time. It'll go against the Lakers. That time a little too far out in front was Gencilia Villaverde, a junior out of Palm Bay, Florida. Transfer out of Florida Gulf Coast University. Someone that's made an impact right away. How about transferring in and scoring the team's first goal of the season? I'd say that's about as big an impact as you can make.
I guess so. You know, she's happy. Coach is happy.
Here's another good ball. Tori Hood with the keeper out of the net a little bit. Deflected enough by McCormick to send it just wide off to the left. McCormick got caught in no man's land for a second. She wanted to come out and challenge, then realized it might not be a good idea, and then she got stuck. And Tori Hood, fortunately for McCormick, she was able to get just a piece of the shot by Hood and set up another corner.
She made her say she's tall, and she made it say even bigger coming out. You know, if you can do chip goal over there, she was pretty much in no man's land. If you do chip shot, you know, you could have chipped her there, and she came and she stopped, and you know, Tori, you can't blame her. She tried best. There was 3 defenders around her. It was a good play by Tori.
They'll get another corner here. Steph Kolwitz, who just came into the game, taking that corner, but it's going to result in nothing as they add another corner kick to their tally. Now the counter coming from the other side. Look at Cunningham fly down that right half. And Casey Davis losing that foot race. All she could do was send that away. Cunningham, the other half of that scoring duo up top. The junior from Liverpool, England. Played 2 years at the University of Memphis. Didn't see a lot of playing time there. Transferred to Clayton State, and I'd say 11 goals already this season. She's done a nice job.
Casey Davis saved that goal there. That was if Cunningham touched the ball one more time by her, she was in on breakaway. But Cunningham and Bartis, they both from soccer hotbed, Catalonia and Merseyside, Liverpool, England. There's some great player, greatest in the world came from that small areas.
Ashley Miller subbing in. It's the first time that Ashley Miller has played against Clayton State since that goal 2 years ago won the game. Despite them playing 2 times last year, Miller was not with the team, so she did not play against Clayton State. So her last memories of this Lakers squad was a double overtime game-winning goal for her. Wilby playing another good ball. Tori Hood touched it for a moment. Tori's been good off the bench, and you can see
it was great control under really tremendous pressure.
the CSU reserve squad is not indicative of the name reserves. They would be starters at a lot of different places.
No doubt.
Annie Larice, good defensive play that time by Cunningham. She's so quick. That first step she makes and quickness, that's stuff you can't coach. You either have it or you don't.
That's natural talent. Well, you know what they say, you know, it's not about X's and O's, it's about Jimmys and Joes.
There's a lot of Jimmys and Joes on the field right now.
Exactly.
Under 11 minutes to go in this first half. Clayton State, the 17th ranked team in the latest NSCAA poll. 12-2 on the season, 7-1 in Peach Belt Conference play. They lead 1-0 over Columbus State, number 2 in the nation, at 11-0-1 and 6-0 in Peach Belt Conference play, though. This is the stretch for Columbus State where their regular season fate inside the conference will be decided. this game here today. And then Wednesday's match
Wonderful.
at North Georgia. Good touch from Marty Barnes that time, pairing up with her teammate Cunningham, but CSU recovers. As we talked about when we came on the air today, there were 3 games that were going to determine this regular season in the Peach Belt Conference. It started on Wednesday night with North Georgia's thrashing of Clayton State 5-0. This is game number 2 of that. Wednesday is game number 3. It's kind of a round robin of sorts between these 3 teams.
Coach Sullivan made sure that's not going to happen today.
North Georgia took the early edge. Clayton State trying to get a victory on the board and forced Columbus State to have a victory on Wednesday night to really put themselves back in contention.
When you're looking at almost every game, it's must win because it's going to be achievement to win 3 in a row against 3 really top-notch teams in Peach Belt.
Clayton State right now, though, late in this first half, seeming more like they're trying to hold on than they are attacking at this point.
I love Maria Bartis Catalana. What a technique.
She has great technique, that European style of player.
Wow.
Not physical and not huge, but very, very technically sound and very soccer talented.
Soccer intellectual.
Nice move
Muy
that time by
inteligente.
Kolwitz to get by Marty Bartis. The one edge that Columbus State does have on this Clayton State team for sure is in the number of players they can put out there. The depth always in Columbus State's favor, but especially with Clayton State, who didn't come here with very many players. They brought, I think they had just 18 on the roster when they came here, and you have a couple of those are backup goalkeepers, so they're not going to get in unless something weird happens with McCormick back there in net.
That should play in CSU's favor. You know, we'll see whether after big game they played on Wednesday, Clayton State, whether they're going to have enough juice for 90 here.
It may have actually helped them that it went so poorly because they didn't spend a ton of time battling in the late stages of that one because it was already out of reach. So it may have been a blessing in disguise if you can ever call a 5-0 loss that.
You know what? They would trade any day this win over than over North Georgia. I bet my number 2 team in the country. You know, they're able to pull here miracle, which would be miracle. That's going to carry a lot of weight. It's going to erase all bad memories from Wednesday.
Couple of substitutions for the Lady Cougars. Tori Hood, Shea Wilby coming off. Shauna Griffin, Jackie Hellett coming on. So now we've switched the front line. This is the 3rd run of frontline players that has come in. You looked at it at one point, and it was Nicholson, Hood, and Wilby, and now it's Hellett, Miller, and Griffin up top. So you're now on your 7th, 8th, and 9th forwards for CSU in this first half.
I know this might be, you know, there's a lot of European players here. You know, this might be a little bit challenge that Shauna Griffith probably gonna try to. That she's gonna try to compete, and this gonna maybe motivate her.
Well, and you look at it; these are 7, 8, and 9 forwards, and they have 4 goals between them. All 3 of them have scored this season. So really, it doesn't matter where you go. There's a goal scorer there for the Lady Cougars, but they need to find one here at some point as we're down near 6.5 minutes to go in this first half, and it's still a 0 on the board for the Lady Cougars, who are trailing for just the 2nd time this season. Is a little too physical that time was Villaverde, and she picks up the foul. 7-2, the Lady Cougars out shooting Clayton State. Clayton State actually doesn't have a shot since the 2nd minute when they scored their goal. They had a shot on the opening kickoff. It sailed high by Marty Bartis. And then they had the goal off the free kick by Collins. They've had nothing offensively since then, but it hasn't mattered. They lead where it does matter on the scoreboard. This is Miller trying to cross. Marty Bartis, who's not shy about getting down there and getting inside the defense, deflected it away. Teacher Appreciation Day here at the Walden Soccer Complex. They'll have a ceremony at halftime for those teachers that they're going to honor.
I wish CSU can honor him with 1 goal here.
That would be one way to honor them. That was last touched by Griffin. So it'll be a Clayton State throw right below us as we near 5 minutes to go in this first half. Some adjustments to be made at halftime, but all in all, it hasn't been a poorly played half. It was a poorly played 2 minutes, but
That's
2
right.
minutes cost you a goal.
That's a absolutely correct statement. CSU played pretty good ball game.
After the first 2 minutes, you'd say CSU has been the much better team. The
Oh, yeah.
chances have all been in their end. The control of possession has been mostly theirs. Here's a dangerous chance, though, a foot race, and Becca Calder quicker by a step than Marty Bardis.
Marty Bardis, que jugadora catalana. What a player. You know, she moves off the ball. You know, it was really, she beat both two center backs. We're really fortunate that.
This is Wade to
Nice
Kolwitz.
flick.
Chips to the center for Hellett, deflected away from her. Kept alive right in the center. Kolwitz sets it up off to the left side. Miller, a left-footed player, coming over there. She'll hit it in with her left foot, but rolling on the ground, Emily Walling sprays it out over the side.
That was wonderful flick, big time, professionally done. Stephanie Cole is playing into Hallett, but she was standing, didn't look for checking to the ball. And even on this cross, center forwards did not attack that ball. They're waiting for the ball.
This throw gets all the way through to Miller, still alive.
Miller.
Knocked to the ground. The referee allows them to just continue to play on.
There's contact, but not enough, not nearly enough. We have, if this is international, really FIFA rules, there might have been yellow card there.
Another final late sub here coming on for the Lady Cougars. Lindsay Law coming in. She'll come on and replace, it looks like Ashley Miller that's coming off, walking the long way out behind the net. A corner kick coming
Here
up
we go.
as Jackie Hellett swings that cross, deflects it off of a defender near the 3-minute mark. The Lady Cougars, what a pickup it would be going into the locker room if they could get one here in the final 3 minutes. Griffin to the corner to take
There
this
you go.
corner kick.
I like this a lot better.
Look at all the people at the goal
There were
line.
poor crosses before going on edge of the box. This is going to be near post there. We got to touch it. There you go.
It's
Hey!
loose and it goes into the net. And there it is. Just under
Steph
3 minutes to
Kolovitz.
go. They get one touched into the net. And the Lady Cougars have tied it at 1.
Steph Kolovitz, what a wonderful, wonderful flick. That's a big time. She made similar pass to Hellett, and now she touched it in on outside of the foot flick. I'm happy for her that she scored. She finally gonna try to play her game because she is mega talent, and Jay was expecting and coaching staff from her getting 8-9 goals by now. So hopefully this is gonna open up for her.
And so now we start back over, one apiece, and the Lady Cougars attack finally pays off, and you saw it coming right there with the way they
Look at
set up on
Stephanie.
that formation.
Look at Stephanie goes now in there. That's what Jay was asking from her.
This is Wade deflected around. McCormick will slide right there on the end line.
That run you saw from deep from Stephanie Kolwitz, that's exactly what Coach Jay wants her to do. You know, playing holding mid, she likes to build and everything, but she's goal scorer. She can score the goal. She's really exceptionally talented player. There you go, winning header right now as well.
For Kolwitz, that's goal number 3. Shauna Griffin, the corner, getting the assist, and those are girls that didn't start today for CSU, and the bench again comes through. It doesn't really matter who he throws out there right now. Jay Entlick has a whole host of players that can do things. There's
go.
a good ball played
Come on,
through.
Shauna.
Griffin on the run trying to get to this one. She will.
Handball, penalty kick.
A handball looked like in the
Mamma
box.
mia. Mamma mia.
And no call
Mamma
by
mia.
anybody.
Mamma mia. That's penalty kick.
The referee in the center saying no. The entire Lady Cougar bench to our left up on their feet. You could see it from here,
Oh,
though.
my
Not sure
God.
how he didn't see it that
This
close.
is blatant. I mean,
The attack will continue, though, with 75 seconds to go in this first half. All of a sudden, Lady Cougars swinging the momentum way into their favor despite an even score. 1-1 where we stand. Good
Come on.
touch. Law a little late reacting to it, and it's sprayed away. Bryant the one who kicks it out, and this is a finishing flurry for the Lady Cougars right here as they continue to try to add one more to their tally. Hellett fighting for it as this game starts to get a little chippy here in the last minute.
CSU just said, here we go. We play now. But Hellett over there, Law is actually, she let the ball go by her. You got to have a touch on the ball and quick release. I constantly preaching that, Coach Jay preaching that. You can't let the ball go by you and dribble you. You dribbling the ball, you controlling ball. She should have just touched that ball and finished it right away. Left foot shot.
Down under 20 seconds to go, and now with a late Clayton State throw, it looks like that's the way that we're going to take it to the locker room here in the first half. It was a poor 2-minute stretch, although the Lady Cougars are hoping it can be a great final 2-minute stretch. Under 5 seconds to go. And the horn will sound, and that will wind things up here in this first half. It was Sive Collins who put one on the board in the second minute for Clayton State and started them off in a good fashion. The Lady Cougars battle, and finally get one back to tie it at 1. You can see Jay Inlick's on his way out to speak with our referee out there to ask him about that handball call, and they're discussing it right now, and he's saying, it looked like he was saying maybe, my bad, I missed it, but it doesn't make up for anything. But 1-1, the way they're going to take it into the locker room at halftime as the Lady Cougars picked it up after a very, very slow start.
No doubt. I mean, it was 2 bad minutes and 43 really good minutes for CSU. I believe subs made a difference, especially Stephanie Colvich. She almost made another assist there. This is the best I've seen her play, so I hope she's going to play more in the second half. But when it comes to penalty kick, the linesman was really close to that. He should have called that. That's penalty kick 101 in international soccer, modern rule. Ball was going toward the cross, toward the CSU players. It's example of penalty kick. What's given? You don't. Hand was away from body. That's a penalty kick.
1-1, the way we'll take it to halftime. They'll head to the locker rooms. We'll take a break with them and be right back here at the Walden Soccer Complex. Number 2 and number 17 tied at 1. Stephen Williams, Tony Frankovich back here with you on Cougar Sports TV. Columbus, Georgia, the site of today's top 20 matchup in Division II women's soccer. The second-ranked Lady Cougars of Columbus State, the 17th-ranked Lakers of Clayton State University, as these two go head-to-head 1-1 after that first half, but I think we're both in agreement. The first 2 minutes belong to Clayton State. The last 43 were really in Columbus State's favor.
That's absolutely correct statement. I liked end of the game, as we said. One of them other games, we said if there's 5 more minutes, CSU was good for a goal or two again. But we'll see now. What halftime was really very welcome for Coach O'Sullivan. So he's going to re-energize his troop and organize him again. They are now in that status that we were talking about. You know, they got scored on. Let's see how they're going to react. I know CSU going to come hard. They're going to try to get that second goal, try to put this game away. Now is really mystery how Clayton State's going to react. We'll see. Stephanie Colvitz starting now second half. I think she earned that, and her creative play was really made difference for CSU. I'm really happy that she finally started play the way she can.
They will start play here in the second half. The Lady Cougars of Columbus State in the all-white, working right to left as you're looking at it now. Clayton State in the all-navy, working left to right. The Lady Cougars, as you mentioned, making a couple of adjustments to the lineup. They do put Steph Kolwitz there in the midfield. She'll play in the middle. Mandy Janowitz not getting the start at the forward spot, so Kolwitz slots into the midfield. Kelsey Pelletier moves up to the forward spot, and they roll with that lineup. The same after that with the starters that they had when this game started. On the opposite side for Clayton State, it looks about like the same way that they started this game. Collins back out there after she went down with an injury and came out, so she, the one who scored the first goal of the game, is in there back right now. Chelsea Pearson on the long throw, headed around. Shelby Rowling got a foot on it, but it sails a little wide to the left and spins over towards the corner. There was a lot of chances early on, and finally when they put big numbers in the box on that corner kick was when they finally got a goal in there.
And finally was near post cross that I was asking for earlier. We had 2 crosses before, 2 corner kicks, and ball went like edge of the box or not dangerous position. So first near post cross, low shot, low flick, wonderful flick. It was really genius flick by Kolwitz, and there was a keeper couldn't do nothing about it.
The only change to the Clayton State starting 11 here in the second half, number 22, Lois Edvardson, the one that plays in, and she'll come in place of Gensilia Villaverde, who's not out there to start this second half. So Edvardson sliding into that back line, and they take Villaverde out. Another deep throw, good flick that time by Corsione, but a defender got in the way. That was Cunningham who stood in between it. But they're getting better and better, and it's like we've watched in several games this season. They get closer and closer and closer, and finally they'll get one in.
There's Chelsea in her element.
There's a player down on the ground for Clayton State as this one is picked up by McCormick. They'll stop the clock here at this point with another player down, and this is Collins again, who already has been down once today. She was able to come off and went back in, but she's down again. They haven't waved on the training staff just yet.
That was a blueprint of Chelsea Pearson. She went through that. This is her signature move. Really great, explosive move, cross near post. But once again, we have Pearson on far post and in the middle of the goal, a little bit toward far post. We didn't have anybody attacking that near post. I mean, I will keep preaching and asking and begging that they make that near post. Cross was wonderful, low ball, maybe a little too close to keeper, but he was there to take. What I see in lineup a little bit, you know, I see Rowling is sitting in a hole, what we call in front of defense, in front of back four, and it seems to me, you know, Coach Jay pushing other midfielders. I see Stephanie Kolwitz is a lot more offensively engaged, and also Taylor Marks. They both of them attacking a little more. So CSU will try to put more people in the box, try to score their goal.
It's a change that they wanted to make. They wanted to get Shelby Rowling out of that center back spot and take some use of some of her talents that she has offensively, put her in that defensive center mid spot. They couldn't do that early in the season, though, because they were waiting on Jessica Sauer to prove that she was ready to take over that spot, and then Casey Davis suffered an injury that kept her out for a few games. But now, with everybody back healthy, ready to go, you get to add that advantage of Shelby Rowling, a center back by trade, able to show off some offensive talent and play in that center mid spot.
She plays, like a sweeper in front of defense. You remember we cover West Florida when they play man for man on our 3 forwards, and then they have deep sweeper. But in modern soccer, that number 6 spot, that's actually, incidentally, Rowling she playing that number 6 spot that is like sweeper in front of defense.
Corner kick, they play it short. They give it back to Colwitz.
That's a great ball.
She'll hit one into the center. It gets over everybody until it hits a Laker and gets deflected out. Calder trying to keep it in. Good touch by Colwitz again there, deflected to Pelletier. They'll reset with Sauer. She'll chip one over the top, has Corsione with it.
Nice.
Headed
nice
into the
ball.
center. Pearson a tad late getting to it, and it'll come with another corner. There's a little creativity that time.
That was a wonderful drop header by Corsione. Rowling could have attacked that ball too. Chelsea was just a little bit late, but I like what I see right now, Stephen.
They'll take away the short corner this time, will Clayton State.
Begs for another screamer by Stephanie Colwitz.
Colwitz set to hit this one. She'll
Another
hit that
screamer.
low near post ball. Pearson unable to hit it towards the net. It's deflected away. She'll try to scramble to this before it goes over the line. Able to keep it in. A nice job by the junior out of Decatur.
Wonderful pass.
Colwitz for Pearson. Stopped that time by Bryant. It looked like those two may have banged legs or something, and Bryant came up on the losing end of that one. A little gimpy as she gets up off the turf. Colwitz has been a big-time creator.
No. That's a bad call. It was shoulder to shoulder. No. That's not foul.
That was Pearson and Bryant that were tangled up again, but it's Pearson that's calling for the foul. It'll go against the Lady Cougars. 6-5 in that department right now.
You know, they changed different front runner. They have Deisha Pascal. I think that's her playing up front, and
playing way up top.
She's center forward right now with 2. They want to get Maria Bartis more involved in the midfield and build up, and coming out of midfield try to score the goal.
Pelletier's cross finds Corsione in the touch a little bit on the wrong foot. Went left foot trying to go to that near post instead of right foot to the far post. Right foot to the far post may be wide open.
You know, this is finish without confidence. You know, that's not that having believe you're gonna score there. You know, let me just take a shot. Let me put something on it. You know, she has to have belief that she's gonna score. There was absolutely wonderful opportunity, wonderful play, a lot of great plays coming, and main danger from the right side, Chelsea Pearson side. And Stephanie Colwitz is involved, making foul right there. But those two seems to me have something, some good chemistry going on that right side.
Colwitz commits the foul against Rachel Schmidt, who is taken down to the ground. This will be Edvardson that will take this free kick. This is where they scored back in the first half from a little bit closer, as Casey Davis will head this one away. Again, it was the opening 2 minutes of this match. The opening kick is a foul that time. Goes on the opposite side by Boganus.
Hand on the back.
But it was off the opening kick right away. A ball over the top, got over everybody for CSU. Marty Bardis just skied the shot over the crossbar. As this is Pelletier on the near side. A minute later, though, off a free kick by Sive Collins, it turned into a goal for the Lakers and put them in front. It took a long time for CSU to finally level the match at 1, but they finally did so as Shauna Griffin hit a low stinger to the near post on a corner. Steph Colwitz, the tap in, tied it at 1, and that's where we stand right now as the Lady Cougars get set to attempt another corner kick, a department that they're up now into double digits on.
We have to do something off of this corner. You know.
They play it short. Larice, the pass back to Colwitz was not very good, but she's able to get it back. Larice, a good ball into the center, headed away. Pelletier keeps it alive for a moment at the 18. had it taken away, and CSU will have to reset with their center backs across midfield.
Send it back in a mixer. What a great header.
Good
That's
ball
gotta
by
be
Rolling.
goal. That's got to be goal.
Pearson
Yes!
going to
Oh,
the
yeah,
left
yeah,
side,
yeah,
just
yeah,
missed
yeah.
it wide to the left, and it'll be a goal kick coming up. But again, continue, charge, and these opportunities will eventually, you believe, go in.
Pound the rock, baby. Pound the rock. That was wonderful by Kelsey, by Chelsea Pearson. It was a Chelseano move.
It's not a very strong goal kick from McCormick. Marks keeps it in the attacking third and finally able to get it away. But look at how far this back line. We are just a little bit off right center of midfield, and the back line's playing even with us most of the time, if not farther up. But here's a counter chance. This is Cunningham charging forward, looking for a counterpart there, and Marty Bardis, but Larice with a long clearance.
That was no good pass behind Bartis. You know, she was wide open in a space. We would be in a little bit of trouble there if it was better pass than that.
But look where the center backs are right now. Casey Davis, Jess Sauer, they're standing with heels on the midfield stripe.
You got to close that. The last game, I was constantly complaining about that. There was huge gap between our center backs and our forwards. Now it's definitely Coach J fixed that, and there's no big hole in the middle.
Rolling, winning the battle right now. CSU a step quicker to the 50-50 balls right now. It's becoming a game of how much do you want it at this point.
There you go. Early ball,
Corsione
early ball, early ball.
splits two defenders. Off to Taylor
Combine.
Marks, the top of the box.
Do we
Good
have
touch.
One more pass, Corsione.
Corsione had it deflected around, and it winds up in the waiting arms of Charlotte McCormick.
She had a rolling there, wide open. She would walk in a goal. CSU winning a lot of these now, first and second balls. That this is very good news for Coach J.
It's the complete opposite of how the match started.
Exactly.
And again, though, as we mentioned, it did seem like that first goal was a wake-up call. Hey, you better get your gear together because it's not going to be easy today. And since that point, the minute that goal went in, everything has been changed as Clayton State will get a throw and a very early sub, Brooke Bortles. This will be the first time that we've seen her, the junior from Swanee, Georgia. Coming in now, they're going to make a change. Jamila Bryant will come off as they make a sub. Back there near that back line, one of the outside backs taking Bryant off as Coach O'Sullivan not happy with how his defense is playing at the moment.
You know, CSU had to do a lot with that. You know, they putting more people, more pressure in the back on his defense. So he tried to adjust something, but I think it has to do a lot with CSU. They have to finish those chances. You can't really miss this many glorious 100% scoring chances, although it looks like we will keep getting those chances. But sometimes there's a period of the game if you miss one too many chances, then you stop kind of. You're running out of ideas. And
This is Chelsea Pearson with it. The offside flag put up, though. Not sure if it was Pearson or Corsione. They were both there, and both of them potentially in an offside position. Nearly 10 minutes gone by already in this second half. Stephen Williams, Tony Frankovich with you here on Cougar Sports TV. Top 20 matchup and a potential top 10 matchup for the Lady Cougars coming up on Wednesday. So this is the part of the season that will determine postseason seeding and your Peach Belt Conference regular season championship.
see McCormick, what kind of kicks does she has? You know, that's a lot better than previous one.
Much better. That one traveling a good 25, 30 yards more than the last one did. It's just Cunningham.
They have to be ganging up on Cunningham there. You know, don't let her create anything out of there.
14 and 10 in blue. Those are the two to keep your
there she
eye on the
goes.
most. And this is Cunningham off to Marty Bardis. Pascal, another dangerous one. They play it back to
Gotta
Cunningham.
recover quicker.
Back to Pascal. The shot saved by Malin Parsons. CSU in a mad scramble that time, chasing the ball. Malin Parsons right on the right spot, able to make her first save of the match.
I beg to differ a little bit. You know, they didn't really chase the ball. They kind of got beat and got mesmerized. Cunningham. She went by him, and they were lazily recovering. If
Rather
they chased that,
chasing the player rather than the
chasing-
ball.
jogging behind the player, I would say that we were very lucky in that situation. That Cunningham cannot go through 4 people.
That was the first shot for the Lakers in nearly 55 minutes of play as we have a Laker that's down on the turf again. This
Wow.
one right in front of the Clayton State bench, and as we mentioned, this is not a deep squad.
This is Cunningham. I think she's it's going to be a huge loss if she cannot continue. She might be a little bit tired. She made the run from here. She made a little loop run around, going back, and then she penetrated. That's good, like 70 yards that she made a hard run. But indecisiveness, but CSU in the midfield, and then they let everything happen. They thought that I'm not sure. I think Casey Davis stepped to her and got beat. She bit in it, and our midfielders and Rolling and Kolwitz, they let her go. They thought that she's going to make a play. In most cases, Casey Davis do make a play, but this is an exceptional players. They needed to chase her. That same what I remember Bosnia playing Argentina in World Cup. When Messi got the ball, I mean, entire world was chasing him down. They didn't let him just do slalom.
Cunningham will walk off under her own power over to the Clayton State bench. She'll be checked out by the training staff. They will sub in Gencilia Villaverde, who started this game. So they're not by any means sloughing off too much when Cunningham comes off the field, but that is one of the top 20 scorers nationally with 11 goals. That's coming off for who knows how long here in the second half. Corsione, a good ball for Pelletier.
Come on, beat.
Looking to do something quick with it. Dribbling around Walling. The
Again.
shot deflected. Gave it back to Courtney Jackway, who just subbed on for the first time today, and her pass was deflected away. Another corner kick coming up. These corner kicks continuing to mount, and that's where CSU scored earlier in the match.
You know, I don't want a short play. You got a Stephanie Kolwitz who can really put Screamer in their box. They need to let her do her job and attack that ball. This is again good opportunities.
Kolwitz
That's
does
wonderful.
hit that low screamer. It's deflected around. Pearson tried to center it and hit it off her own player. Kolwitz with the left foot over towards the far post and Rolling just a step behind getting to it.
That ball was in dangerous area that forward couldn't get to it. I mean, it was a little bit far, but it was, I think, closer maybe to hit far post from this angle.
Mandy Janowitz comes on into the front line now for CSU. It was Pelletier who came off. Kelsey's had a good afternoon up top. Hasn't been able to finish anything just yet, but she's been in the mix all afternoon. Some miscommunication and a turnover between Rolling and Jessica Sauer, but you can see Shelby can make up for it all by herself with her on-ball defending at times.
Rolling has a fantastic game today.
CSU able to win that one away. Nice job, Courtney Jackway coming to take it away. Given right back, though.
You know, Janovic didn't check to her. You know, she was just standing there and letting defenders step. She needs to be moving toward the ball.
This is Corsione. A good header gets her by the defender, Boganis.
Let's go, El Tanque. Hey,
Crosses, and Janowitz just maybe a step behind her where she had to slow up and got it caught under her feet, but not by much.
She could have flicked that ball to Pearson over there. If you cannot handle it, just flick was there.
This is Corsione back with it now, playing it forward for Pearson. Chelsea will touch it wide. Larice on the near side of the field, right there by head coach Jay Entlick.
For the moment, everybody was standing on CSU. There was nobody available for a pass. They didn't make themselves open.
That's a
Rolling
good play
again.
by Rolling. Marty Bartis
she was lurking there. It was great play by Rolling. For me, man of the match for a moment for CSU. You know, if Bartis received that ball, no telling what Catalana would do with the ball.
They'll play it.
Again, she's open there. You know.
Playing it off to Villaverde right now. Working with Pascal in the center. Marty Bartis at the penalty kick spot, and she'll tally goal number 12 It gets through to the center, and it was Marty Barnes one-on-one with Malin Parsons. And the junior from Spain gets her 12th goal of the season.
This is big time goal by Marty. She's exceptional player. I don't know how in the world she was wide open over there. Outside back didn't shift in. I think Rebecca Collar should tuck in when it's ball on this side, and ball went over center of our defense, and she received it and finished it right away. I mean, you remember I preaching constantly and asking about this control shoot, control shoot. Big time player finished it. That's number 10 play. It's CSU was getting a little bit tired. I see from forward and midfielder. So let's see, can we just get that goal back? Plenty of time, eternity, 30 minutes almost.
29 and a half minutes to go in this one. The second-ranked Lady Cougars now back chasing a goal now. Villaverde the assist, Marty Barnes the goal.
We dodged the bullet earlier when Rolling made a really great play, denied a pass toward Bartis, but she finally got that ball in the right place. That's by design. She had her Coach O'Sullivan have her playing at number 10 spot, what we call creative midfielder, withdrawn forward. So she's not target there, so she coming late. So if somebody needs to pay attention on the best players they have.
Marty Bardes plays another good ball. This is Pascal now with a little space to work. Dribbling with 3 players there. Rolling starting to come from behind.
Wide open far post.
Played for Marty Bardes in the center. Headed away and cleared finally by Calder. But you see now, for the first time in this match since we started, things starting to seesaw in the direction of Clayton State here over the last few minutes. Villaverde, who just assisted on the last goal from nearly the same spot, deflected by Casey Davis, and a corner kick coming for the Lakers at the 28-minute mark.
Lady Cougars are shaken up. There's no two ways about it. This goal really rattled them pretty bad. So we'll see. Plenty of time. They need to find that second wind.
The cross, and Malin Parsons will jump up and snatch that one out of the air. But now you have under 28 minutes to chase down a goal if you're CSU. They're working with their backup forwards here, so some fresh legs with Tori Hood, Mandy Janowitz, Kiana Nicholson out there.
Soccer is sometimes very unfair sport. You dominate, you have all chances, you don't finish, you get punished for it.
This is Janowitz with some room to work for a moment. She'll drop it off. Jackway will hit one towards the net. It'll sail wide of the far post on the left side.
We're getting chances, no doubt about it. CSU does not deserve to be 2-1 down. We deserve to be up by 2 goals in my book. But, in soccer, you don't always get what you deserve. Sometimes quite opposite. It's hard sport. Statistics means nothing in this game.
This ball last touched by Tori Hood, says our far referee on the opposite side of the field. So it'll belong back to Clayton State with under 27 minutes to go now. 2-1, 17th ranked Lakers on top, leading the second ranked and unbeaten Lady Cougars of Columbus State. This is Janowitz trying to cross. There's no one in the box to cross to, though. Nobody making a run at the net.
They don't reading cues, that's something that we still rattle for. It was a little bit in first half. We don't attacking that box. It was obvious she's going to cross the ball. She put herself in position to cross the ball. Nobody was storming in a box, try to do. They have to read those cues, They don't at the moment. Everybody seems waiting for a shot, to drop pass to edge of the box so they can take that long shot.
This is Casey Davis, the center back. You imagine there's a time coming, maybe in about 5 or 10 minutes, when that starting group of midfielders and forwards will come back onto the field, and you'll see Pearson and Corsione and Pelletier and Taylor Marks and company get back out there. But right now, they've got to get their legs underneath them, and hopefully they'll have a little bit to go on later that maybe Clayton State doesn't defensively with the lack of subs that
Probably
they're
not.
making.
You know, this is pretty high tempo game. You know, it's pretty high tempo game. Um, you know, I believe Lady Cougars have one goal in them still. I just hope we don't slip and give up a third one cheaply again.
So 2-1 where we stand right now. Stephen Williams, Tony Frankovich
can't
here
believe
with
it.
you on Cougar Sports TV, the Lady Cougars. Their first really big conference match in a while since back when they took on Armstrong. It's been the bottom half of the conference that they've seen. This starts their run through the rest of the top half of the conference today, and then Wednesday with North Georgia. Next Saturday, Lander, a tougher matchup as well. But right now, they are chasing a goal, down 2-1, trying to come back. They trailed 1-0. They're able to tie that one up in the 43rd minute. Now they trail 2-1. When do they get a chance to tie it up, or will they get a chance to tie it up?
Maria Bartiz Catalana, she's open again in the midfield. You know, we need to design somebody to mark her. You know, it's Shelby rolling right now, marking her, but when Shelby has to shift and make a play on different, plug the hole on different side, as in case on the goal, she was wide open there. So right now we see one very, very dangerous player, and she doesn't have a marker on her.
Larice playing it to the near side, looking for Nicholson.
That's foul.
Nicholson pushed down, nothing going to be called. They'll play it long into the Clayton State bench.
You tell me, what's the difference between this and Chelsea Pearson's foul that was called on? What's the difference? I mean, he needs to be consistent, you know. I know I'm harping on referees all the time, you know, but sometimes I'm wrong, but a lot of times I'm right. In case of PK, and there you go.
This is Tori Hood one-on-one with the keeper, looking to finish. A little late getting the shot off, and recovering that time was Emily Walling, the all-conference player a year ago, recovered to set up a corner kick.
See, left foot was out of her comfort. She wanted to shoot in her comfort zone, and she didn't get that shot. You know, she was probably 6 years old. Coaches were teaching her and screaming at her, whatever, saying left foot, left foot, left foot, left foot.
This is Cassandra.
Sorry, left foot.
Cassandra Wade that will take this corner kick now. Wade puts it into the center, chipped up in the air, and as we've noted, McCormick very tall. You're not going to beat her up high.
We're getting Taylor Marks coming in, and Ashley Miller getting ready as well, you know.
Looks like they're about to sub in some more forwards up top, some fresh
Yeah.
legs.
I think they're going to pull Tori out, you know. This kind of game, they're not going to... Coach J will not tolerate lack of production, not being no execution.
Villaverde into the center for Pascal. With the left foot, her shot blocked by Rolling. A nice job by the junior from Ontario. Janowitz trying to play a long ball over the top. Deflected around that time by Schmidt. But she lost it over the sideline, and see how she will get their subs in. Wilby, Marks, Miller in. Jackway out. Janowitz out. Hood out. And on for Clayton State. Lucy Cunningham seems to have recovered from whatever it was that brought her off the field earlier. She'll come on, and it looks like Schmidt is going to be the one that comes out.
It might have been cramp or plainly being tired, being exhausted. She was running everywhere, Cunningham. She's outstanding player. She covered a lot defensively, and she was going in attack, leading in attack. So, as you can see, Stephen, you know, it's still, you know, we don't have anybody on Maria Bartes. She's wide open there. This could be dangerous.
This one loose in the box. Marks with it, trying to control it. Larice tried to hit it, and now look out. This is Marty Bardis running 1-on-3 with Pascal out in front, and then a bad decision. CSU bailed out by Marty Bardis, making a bad move and passing it off.
I like the way those three defenders played. You know, they were dropping back, taking passing options away from her. They were narrowing the space behind their backs, closing to our goal. So Bartis didn't have much room. She should have carried that ball a little more. Sometimes defenders step in too soon, and they give you that opportunity to beat him with penetrating pass. At this point, you know that Bartis was. She wanted to make a pass, but the space wasn't available. There was wonderful, wonderful defending by CSU defense.
Good job by McCormick that time. She moves out wide to the left side of the box for her and sprays it out over the edge. CSU will get a deep throw coming up. Lady Cougars have had a flair for the dramatics a couple of times this season. They won a game in double overtime on a Chelsea Pearson goal at Armstrong, as this is Marks in the box, knocked to the ground, and now they will make the call on the foul in the penalty box. Finally, it'll go against Clayton State, and here comes your tying opportunity for CSU. Taylor Marks taken down, and we'll see who's going to step up and take this one. It looks like it might be Marks that will do so. McCormick in net. Taylor Marks will be the one that will tee this one up. Down under 20 minutes to go, trying to tie this match at 2 apiece. Marks, the sophomore, goes to the right, and we're tied at 2. So Taylor Marks gets it right back. 2 apiece. Columbus State and Clayton State right back squared even. So they've traded goals. They've seesawed back and forth. 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2. And now they have less than 20 minutes to try to decide this in regulation. This is Cunningham on the ball. Steps past Cassandra Way, and they'll try to get it right back and put themselves back in front. Cunningham hits it towards the net, and Malin Parsons comes over to grab it to stop the effort. Clayton State, though, picking up the intensity here with under 19 to go. So CSU with the equalizer. They were asking for a penalty earlier. Should have had one on a handball in the box, a blatant one that was missed by our center referee. They finally do get one. And now CSU trying to get another one. A player down, Bryant down for Clayton State, but they'll keep going as it's Wade fighting for it down this near side. And it will be a CSU throw, I believe, as they'll go check on Jamila Bryant, who's down over there at midfield, able to hop up to her feet, though, once they stop play. Bryant, the junior out of Evans, Georgia, just outside of Augusta. She actually started her career back in 2011 at USC Aiken Peach Belt School before transferring over to Clayton State. Big time battle, though, going on right now here in Columbus inside the Peach Belt Conference. 2-2 where we stand. Goals for Clayton State by Collins and by Marty Bardis. Goals for CSU by Kolwitz and Taylor Marks. Now Marty Bardis with space again. Pascal working out wide, and again Marty Bardis gives it up early, and Casey Davis is there to take it away. Just needs to hold it a couple of touches longer to drive down the field more. Passes have not been good in those last 2 situations. Down to 18 minutes to play in this second half. CSU has not played with the lead at any point today. They've been down or tied the entire duration. Here's a long ball over the top. Pascal not making a run for it. And Malin Parsons will walk out to pick it up as CSU gets set to send on its other frontline forwards as Pearson and Pelletier head to the center flag to check in. Corsione already out there and played a good ball to Taylor Marks. She plays a good one to Wilby. Wilby working against Bryant, able to win it away on a tackle, but Bryant's going to win the foot race over to get to it. And she'll just clear it out over the side for a deep throw, and those frontline forwards will come back on for Columbus State. These are the two that lead this team in goal scoring this season. 15 different Lady Cougars have scored, but it's Pearson and Pelletier that have 6 and 5 respectively that lead this group, and they're back on now for, you would imagine, the final 17 minutes of this one. Wilby and Miller come out. Rolling, triggering this long throw. Corsione the flick into the center. Marks battling for that 50-50 ball. Marty Bartis, the one who comes away with it. And again, they try to play it over the top for Pascal, and Jessica Sauer does a nice job recovering just to get rid of it. You can see the Clayton State thought process, though. Anytime they get a counterattack, it's let's play a long ball, try to get it through and get a chance to go one-on-one. They got a goal off a free kick earlier. Sive Collins, in the second minute of this one, less than 75 seconds in, was able to get a free kick to take a bounce and go into the upper right 90. Free kick from near midfield. Put that in. CSU worked the entire first half. Finally was able to tie the match at 1 off a goal on a corner kick. Shauna Griffin hits one, and Steph Kolwitz tapped it in. Clayton State getting the go-ahead goal at 2-1 from Maria Marty Barnes off a pass from Villaverde. Beat Malin Parsons one-on-one. And now, after a foul, took down Taylor Marks in the box. A penalty kick for Marks beats McCormick and ties the match at 2, as Rolling will come off for a quick breather. Steph Kolwitz will come on. And now we'll see how CSU adjusts defensively with Shelby Rolling off the field, as she's done a good job at that defensive center mid spot of marking a couple of players there in the attacking third. This is Wade. Plays it onto the foot of Calder, into the center. Pelletier loose with it. Will it go in? It's at the goal line. It doesn't get in, though. Finally cleared away. It got through McCormick, and a couple of defenders have to come over and keep it out of the net. How did that not get across the goal line? Pelletier looked like she was going to sneak one through, but it did not happen. So Clayton State dodges a massive bullet that time from the Lady Cougars here in the late stages of this second half. Molman deflects that one away, and another deep throw coming up. Ball bounces around the box. Larice trying to step in front of the clearance. Marty Bartis working there. Still loose. Pearson winds up with it. Outside the box, left side. Going for the far post. Got through to Wade. She couldn't get a touch going towards the net with it, though. Bryant still loose. That ball is deflecting around the box. Pinballing around. And finally, Walling able to get loose. This has not been a brilliant last 2 minutes for this Clayton State back line. It's been a rough go of things here for the last 90 seconds or so. CSU will continue to charge. You cannot get the ball fast enough to them right now on these throws. They want to get it and attack. They sense they've got an opportunity, smelling blood in the water. Foul coming up from behind, and here comes a free kick from just outside the box, and Gareth O'Sullivan beside himself right now at his defense, the way that they're playing at the moment. Pearson takes a fall, and now we'll get a shot on a free kick coming up here. This is where Jay Entlick would love to have Shelby Rolling. This is her specialty, despite the fact that she missed one from this area on Wednesday. This is where she thrives. She's not on the field, so Steph Kolwitz instead will hit it. 4-player wall in front of her. She goes low with it. The wall able to come up with the block. She'll get it right back and then turns it over. Here goes a counter with decent numbers. Charging down the field. This is Bortles with it. Tries to play it off, and again, nobody home. Pascal a little slow on that run, maybe a little tired at this point, as she looks like she's lost a step or two. Pearson, a good touch to herself, has Corsione now that crosses with her to her left. Wade working to her right, trying to play it. Corsione wasn't making a run to the net, though, as McCormick winds up with it on her feet. 2-2 where we stand. Stephen Williams here with you at the Walden Soccer Complex in Columbus, Georgia. Lady Cougars trying to stay unbeaten on the season, but Clayton State, the 17th ranked team in the country, proving to be every bit the formidable foe on this Saturday afternoon. They've led almost the entire match, the Lakers have. But the Lady Cougars have tied it, trailing by a goal on 2 separate occasions. They've had so many opportunities, but have only finished 2 of them. This ball deflected in the midfield. Walling drops it off for Cunningham. This is where the offense starts. Cunningham and Marty Bardis. Villaverde already with an assist. Trying to work against Kolwitz one-on-one. Kolwitz doing a good job. They're going to say the ball stayed in play. The lead pass, though, winds up with Malin Parsons. You can feel the intensity, though, picking up here underneath us on the Clayton State bench. Off to our left on the CSU bench. The Lady Cougars all on their feet over there. The reserves wearing the green pennies. They're generally sitting down. This is Pearson. Pearson taken down, and the flag coming up and a foul coming up, and they're going to stop the clock, and they're going to bring Bryant out and put a yellow card on Jamila Bryant for a little extra contact there after the whistle against Chelsea Pearson. We saw the game get a little chippy late in the first half. And now it's getting that way in the late stages. 2 big-time teams and a big-time match. Free kick from just outside the box here for CSU. Taylor Marks will hit it low, and Pearson tries to chip it towards the net, lost her footing with no one around her. Lost her footing trying to plant and didn't get anything out of it. Subs coming in on both sides. Rachel Schmidt will come on for Clayton State. Looks like Marty Bardis will come on and get a rest here before the final stretch. Cassandra Wade comes off as Shelby Rowling goes back in, so a quick breather for the Lady Cougar and back onto the field. Closing in on 10 minutes to go. You can't imagine that Marty Bardis will sit for long. CSU still attacking, though. Pearson looking for Pelletier. Touch too strong. And McCormick winds up with it. Chance after chance after chance. You got to finish one, though. Down to 10 minutes left to try to get one to win this thing in regulation. CSU is controlled for about 85% of this match, but in the 15% that they haven't, Clayton State has netted 2 goals. Cunningham off to Pascal. Had it taken away. Cunningham gets it back, though, into the center for Villaverde. Shelby Rowling working. Becca Calder steps over to help, and CSU will stop it right there. Ball gets all the way through for Pearson. Off to Pelletier, and the offside flag put up. Kelsey a step too far behind the defense that time, and the flag comes up. Otherwise, you're staring at a 2-on-1 scenario. This Laker defense just bends and bends and bends. They haven't broken yet. 2-2, where we stand. Huge Peach Belt Conference showdown happening here on Cougar Sports TV. A lot on the line for both of these two. CSU trying to keep pace with North Georgia at this point, who just took down Clayton State on Wednesday night, setting up what would be basically a regular season championship game on Wednesday. Clayton State fighting for the chance to still be alive in this regular season race. 8.5 minutes to go now. McCormick, the goal kick coming up. Doesn't get a lot behind this one. Doesn't make it anywhere near midfield. On a couple of headers, though, it'll get there. CSU right now a step quicker to everything that's up for grabs. Some of the Clayton State players, especially in the attacking end, look a little winded and a step slow, but they only need to come up with one more goal. This is Cunningham. She's had some rest in this half. She'll play it out wide. This is Dove. Into the center for Pascal. Pascal is one of those that looks like she's just a bit tired up top after countless runs, and she was the one that lost it. Kolwitz plays a good ball down the field. Pelletier one-on-one. Now with Molman. CSU wanting a handball. They've wanted that a couple of times today and not gotten the call. They get possession anyway here, and then it's one away. This referee crew has not made any friends on either side so far this afternoon. Both teams have been upset on separate occasions, sometimes at the same time. Pearson, the cross. Kolwitz trying to get on the end of it. Was able to get there, but didn't have the angle to get a shot off. Larice coming up from her outside back spot, working on Dove. Drives down the goal line to the box. The cross. Finds Pearson, the shot up and grabbed by McCormick. Didn't hit it squarely, but able to put it on net. And another save for McCormick is her sixth as we hit 6.5 minutes to go. Clayton State looks like it's just trying to survive, hoping for overtime at this point. Sub coming on here for the Lakers. Bryant will come out of the back line. Tamaki Onuma back in. A senior out of Tokyo, Japan. Now they're going to stop that for a second. Say that they weren't whistled back into play just yet. So now they will get the throw going. 6 minutes to go here on Cougar Sports TV. If it comes to overtime, 2 10-minute periods. Golden goal, though. A goal ends it for either side in overtime. They'll play 2 10-minute periods. If it's still tied, we will end in a draw, something that Clayton State became very familiar with a year ago. Remember, as we talked about earlier, they're no stranger to overtime matches. They played 10 of them one season ago. 6 of those resulted in ties. Pelletier trying to get that one on a slide. She'll able to scramble to her feet and get to it. And a foul coming up will go against Schmidt. And Schmidt not happy with it. Neither is the Clayton State coaching staff. Graham O'Sullivan not happy right underneath us. They'll play it fast to Larice. Looking for a cross. Dove defending, able to get by. Looking for somewhere to go to in the center. Dribbled too far, and it's cleared off of her. Goal kick coming up for McCormick. Final minutes ticking away on this regulation time here in Columbus, Georgia. These two teams fighting for 3 points in the standings. Three points up for grabs, 1 if they end in a draw. This is Pearson trying to save it, unable to, but again, you see the speed so much more in favor of Columbus State at this point. Fresher legs right now belong to the Lady Cougars, but can they make something of it? They're down to under 4 minutes to go. Collins and Marty Bardis, the goals for Clayton State. Kolwitz and Taylor Marks for CSU. Is there anyone on the field that has a game winner left on their feet? 3.5 now. All square at 2 apiece. Walling going to attack for a moment from her center back spot. And right now, Clayton State just without the gas to really make any charge at the net. CSU not that way right now. Onuma plays it forward. Pascal shoves Sauer to the ground. And right now you see Clayton just getting tired, getting out of position, and just getting a little sloppy with things. Fouls starting to mount now on both sides. A game that's been very physical from the word go. CSU charging numbers forward, just 2 defenders back on this free kick. Corsione flicks it towards the box. It'll bounce around. Pelletier trying to win the race to it. It was cleared and last touched on the part of Dove of the Lakers. CSU's throw coming up. Searching for a game winner with 2.5 to go. Marty Barnes coming back to the flag to sub in at her next opportunity. Corsione, another flick towards the center. Rowling gets ahead on it. Pelletier off to Corsione. Chip towards the net and up over the crossbar. It's going to be hard to beat McCormick high because of her great size. And if you do beat her high, it's likely going over the net. Marty Bartis in, Pascal out. Pascal looks like she's needed a break for a while, and Marty Bartis finally got one, so she'll sub out as we're under 2 minutes to go now. Clayton State trying to get to overtime. CSU looking for a late winner right here. Schmidt plays a good ball across the field. This is Dove going forward for Marty Bartis. It gets through everyone, and Malin Parsons scrambles to go get it. Jess Sauer, the one marking up Marty Bartis in that scenario. Under 90 seconds to go. This is Pearson looking for the winner late. Gets by Onuma. The shot just wide of the far post.
1 minute left in the game.
Chelsea Pearson with a very dangerous ball there. Had a chance at a game winner with a minute to go. Instead, we stay tied. 40 seconds left. Pelletier charging. CSU trying to get it right now. Otherwise, we're headed for overtime. Clayton State just looking to try to get rid of it as CSU sends all its numbers forward. Everybody at midfield or farther. That sets up a dangerous counter spot, though, if Clayton could get it. Down to 15 seconds. Chip towards the net. McCormick will pick this up, and we look like we're headed for overtime here at the Walden Soccer Complex. McCormick will hit one deep. Rolling will win the ball. The horn will sound, and we are headed for overtime. 2-2, where we stand at the end of regulation. So we will head to overtime here at the Walden Soccer Complex. 2-2 where we stand after 90 minutes of play. So they'll take a 5-minute break, stop, talk about things. So we will play overtime here at the Walden Soccer Complex. The first time we've seen overtime here at home this season. It'll be the second time the Lady Cougars have seen overtime, though, for the year. They played double overtime against Armstrong in Savannah back on September 20th, a game in which they trailed 2-0. That was the only other match this season in which they've played from behind. They were able to tie the match up at 2 apiece. Game went to overtime. Nothing was decided. Then in the opening stages of the second overtime, Chelsea Pearson netted her second goal of that match. And then she ended up picking up the game winner to give CSU a victory in their opening game of conference play. And they still have not taken a loss on this season. The game started fast and furious for Clayton State off the opening kick. A ball played over the top resulted in a dangerous shot from Marty Bartis for Clayton State. She skied it over the crossbar. Just a minute later, it was Sive Collins off a free kick after a foul from just on the plus side of midfield for her. Hit a free kick towards the box. It bounced up, went into the upper right 90, up over Malin Parsons, and wound up in a goal. So Collins nets the opening goal of the game for Clayton State. CSU with chance after chance after chance in that first half. Finally made one count with just under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Shauna Griffin with the corner kick, and it was Steph Kolwitz that finished it off for her third goal of the season, tied the match up at 1. We went that way to the locker room, and then coming out of it, Clayton State again, the one that struck first. In the 61st minute, Marty Bartis took a great ball from Villaverde, stuck it into the lower left 90, beat Malin Parsons one-on-one, and put the Lakers back in front 2-1. In the 71st minute, Taylor Marks taken down inside the box. A penalty kick ensued, and it was Marks that went to the right of McCormick and beat her into the net for Taylor Marks, adding the equalizing goal to make it 2-2 in favor of CSU, getting that goal there to tie the match up. And now we'll send it to the overtime period, where these two will play at least a couple of minutes here. It's golden goal, though. 2 10-minute periods, golden goal style. No shootout at the end if still tied after 20. We will put 1 point on the board for each of them in the conference standings, and a draw goes that way. Clayton State, though, does not want that to happen because they need a victory. They've already taken a loss in conference play. Referees making their way to midfield as this 5-minute break winds to a close. Columbus State, the second-ranked team in the country, undefeated to this point, just one draw on the year for them. On the opposite side, Clayton State, the 17th ranked team. They have just 2 losses on the season, 12-2 overall. And the next goal will win this match. CSU looks like it will have the opening possession here in overtime. Nicole Corsione and Taylor Marks stand over the ball. Corsione, Marks, Janowitz, Kolwitz, Pearson, Rolling, Larice, Davis, Sauer, Calder, and Parsons. The 11 in white for Columbus State. Marty Bartis, Schmidt, Cunningham, Pascal, along with Bortles, Walling, Onuma, Molman, Edvardson, and Villaverde, along with McCormick for Clayton State. This is Cunningham trying to play it through. It's deflected by Sauer, and a corner kick coming up for Clayton State just 25 seconds into this first overtime period. Sauer just reacting to it that time, stuck a foot out and deflected it. Had she not touched it, though, it would have gotten all the way through, and Malin Parsons would have handled it just fine. Instead, opportunity for the Lakers now. Opening minute of overtime, Edvardson coming to take the corner. Only their third of this match. Next goal wins. Edvardson hits one right into the center, and Malin Parsons jumps up over everybody to grab it out of the air. A nice job by the sophomore keeper out of Greenville, South Carolina. Janowitz getting the start here in this overtime period instead of Pelletier up top. Putting some fresh legs there. Again, though, has Clayton State recovered from being a little winded late in the match. This is Marty Bardis. Had it taken away. CSU not strong defensively here in these opening minutes. Couple of letdowns in that back line. This is Bortles. Calder standing between her and the net, and it's Calder is able to put her body in front of it. CSU was very strong defensively closing that second half out. Everything was played in their end, but right now, not so much to start overtime. Ball was spent most of the time in the Clayton State attacking third. Bortles to trigger this throw. Goes for Pascal, and it's just going to sail right by her and over the end line for a goal kick coming up. 2 minutes in to the overtime already. 2-2 where we stand. CSU unbeaten. Clayton State trying to stay alive. Kolwitz flicks it forward. Janowitz trying to chase it down. Molman the defender there. Sprays it out wide, right at midfield. CSU working quickly though. No downtime for the Lady Cougars. They don't want any rest period for Clayton State. They feel like they have the fitness advantage at the moment. Kolwitz from distance, high over the crossbar. Remember the last time these two met on this field, it was double overtime when the Lady Cougars finally won it. Ashley Miller was the hero that day. She's wearing white today for CSU, but she's standing on the sideline at the moment. Player down in the middle is Cunningham this time. They play on for the time being. Looks like she's cramping, though, as a player comes over to stretch her out. And they'll stop the clock to check on her with 6 and change showing. Cunningham down, definitely cramping, though, as Schmidt tries to shake it out. Looks like that left calf and that they're trying to stretch out over there as the ref walks over to check on her. If he has to call in the training staff, they have to take her out. So we'll see if she'll stay in there. A sub ready to check in for CSU. As Clayton State will just play this back to the keeper to give the Lady Cougars the possession back with 6.5 minutes to go. Overtime number 1 here on Cougar Sports TV. Golden goal. Next one to find the net walks away with 3 points. No one finds the net. 1 point go to each. Big swing game inside the conference standings. Clayton State with a loss would all but eliminate themselves from the top spot. Columbus State with a victory would put themselves in a winner-take-all showdown likely with North Georgia on Wednesday. Marty Bardis wins this away and has room to work, trying to play it forward for Pascal. But again, instead of dribbling it, she tries to play it with the pass, and that is advantage CSU when she does that. Pearson trying to track this one down in front of Onuma. Onuma, though, just hits it out over the side, and we've got a sub coming on. One for both sides. It looks like Caitlin Dove is going to come on for Clayton State. Kiana Nicholson coming in for CSU. Cunningham, who's been shaken up, will come out for the Lakers. Mandy Janowitz comes off for Columbus State. 20-6, the advantage in shots right now in favor of Columbus State. And now a deep throw trying to win it here in overtime number 1. Onuma flicks it into the center, and it's cleared by Schmidt. Davis wins the race to the 50-50 ball. Second touch that time by Kolwitz. But one away, Schmidt ends up with it. Playing it forward for Pascal, who again continues to show that she's lost a step or so. And she's just out of gas trying to get to things up top. CSU will get the throw deep in their defensive end right here. A dangerous spot to give it away with under 5 to go. Everyone here at the Walden Soccer Complex on edge in this overtime. Schmidt stepped it away from Nicholson, able to get it back from Edvardson. Kiana defending Rachel Schmidt. Tries to switch directions on the field, goes for Walling, back to Marty Bardis, the playmaker for this team. Going out wide for Bortles. Bortles' touch, though, winds up with Rolling, and CSU back with it in their possession with under 4 minutes to go. 10-minute period. We'll take another break. We'll switch ends, and they'll play 10 more if this stays tied. Marty Bardis trying to split it through, but Parsons winds up with it. Clayton State has found a little life here in this overtime after they were just trying to scramble to get to overtime. As this one's loose, Casey Davis headed it off of Malin Parsons. CSU's back line has not been good here in overtime. This is Dove looking to cross. Rolling, heads it away. Villaverde ends up with it. Trying to step through. Has it still on her foot. Off to Dove, who's onside. Trying to center it up again, and Parsons will make the easy catch here. No communication in the back line right now for CSU. Those are two very experienced players. Malin Parsons back there, and Casey Davis, the senior center back, who's started nearly every game of her Columbus State career. Nearly headed that one past her own keeper and into the net. Here's a foot race, and McCormick will win the race to it as Chelsea Pearson takes the spill trying to get to the ball. Still 2-2, 2.5 minutes to go. Sauer with a misplay nearly, but able to recover. This has not been a shining moment for that group of four in this overtime. Corsione now, driving to the center with room to work. Can she tee one up from here? Plays it off to the right. Kolwitz looking to set an opportunity up and mistouched it to herself. Down under 2 minutes to go now in overtime, number one. They play on. Marks knocks Dove to the ground. Referee lets him go. He's let him play most of the day. This is Pearson. Nicholson needs to get back on side. Finally able to, and now they'll let him play on the other direction. And now the offside flag does come up on the far side of the field, and it'll put it back in Clayton State's possession. Closing in on the 1 minute mark. McCormick is going to step out outside of the 18 and take this free kick. 60 seconds to go in overtime period number one. Didn't get much on it though. Kolwitz pops it straight up into the air. .40 seconds to go. A chance for a late game winner for both sides here in overtime number one. Pearson trying to play that one, had the right idea. The problem was there was no one there. Down to 30 seconds, ticking away on overtime number one. Again, no rush from the Lakers here to try to rush this one forward. This is going to belong to Clayton here for a throw right in front of the Lady Cougar bench with closing in on 10 to go. The countdown on as it looks like we're headed for overtime number two here at the Walden Soccer Complex. 10 minutes of overtime was not enough to decide anything. Overtime number one comes to a close, and number two and number 17 will play a second set. They'll play a second overtime. So they'll put just 2 minutes on the clock, let them get a quick breather. We'll swap into the field, and we'll play the final 10 minutes of this match. A second overtime, it's either a goal or a tie. One or the other coming in this second overtime. The goals came back, one in each half for both sides. Early goal for Sive Collins in minute 2 for Clayton State. Steph Kolwitz in the 43rd tied it at 1. Maria Marty Bardas in the 61st minute gave Clayton State the lead back. And Taylor Marks on a penalty kick in the 71st. Tied the match at 2, and we stay there as we get set for minutes 101 through 110. A lot on the line for both of these two teams as they chase after the Peach Belt Conference regular season crown that they tied for 1 year ago. North Georgia in the driver's seat at the moment after handing Clayton State a big-time loss on Wednesday night. The Lady Cougars will get their chance at the Nighthawks coming up on Wednesday in Dahlonega, but first they need to try to dispose of the Lakers here in the second overtime. We did this 2 years ago on this field, same two teams, going to double overtime, and it was the Lady Cougars that won it in the 106th minute. Ashley Miller, a goal after a deflected free kick in the box. Chipped one up and over the keeper, off a defender, into the net. Won that game in double overtime. Lady Cougars hoping for the same fortune here in 2014 that they received in 2012. Our 2-minute period has wound to a close. 10 minutes put on the board. Double overtime here at the Walden Soccer Complex. Schmidt, Bortles, Pascal, Marty Bardas, Villaverde, Dove, Edvardson, Onuma, Walling, Molman, and McCormick out there for Clayton State, who will have first possession, working right to left. Hood, Pelletier, Nicholson, Marks, Wade, Rolling, Larice, Davis, Sauer, Calder, and Parsons for CSU, working left to right. So Jay Entlick choosing 3 different forwards for this second overtime. Corsione and Pearson not out there. It's Pelletier, Nicholson, and Hood up top now. Is there a game winner left between these two teams? Remember, Clayton State, no stranger to overtime. 6 ties last year. This is Nicholson looking to cross. It winds up in the hands of McCormick. (20-6), still the advantage in shots for CSU. They've controlled for much of the 100 minutes that have been played, but Clayton State has taken advantage of the few opportunities that they've had. This is Davis. CSU's back line has to be better in this final 10 minutes. Golden goal, the scenario. Next one to find the net wins this match. No one finds the net. The horn sounds. It'll be a draw between these two. They split the two meetings a year ago. CSU winning in dramatic fashion 2 years ago. And someone, if they win, will win in dramatic fashion this year. Otherwise, they're playing to a stalemate. McCormick forced to come out and make another play on one. Pelletier chasing that one down. 90 seconds into the second overtime. CSU with 1 tie this season. It was a scoreless draw in Cleveland, Tennessee against Lee University. Since that time, they have defeated everyone on the schedule. This is the Lakers with it now. Dove dropping it off to no one. At least no one wearing her uniform. Nicholson steps through on the move, and they're going to play on. Villaverde dropping it forward for Marty Bardas. Sauer and Rolling defending off to Pascal. Deflected, going for Villaverde again. Rolling, got her left foot on it and deflects it away. Clayton State has found new life in the overtime periods after floundering away in that second half. Tori Hood trying to track this one down in a foot race. She'll win the race to it. Needs to find a partner in crime to pair with. Wade is the one there, but McCormick able to dive out in front of the cross to take it away with 7:15 to go. Jay Entlick with some instructions for his junior Tori Hood, asking her to play it diagonally back instead of straight across the front of the net. McCormick plays at the front of the net. You play it back to the center, she's not there. CSU now with a chance to counter. It's a 4-on-5. Played to the center for Nicholson. Good touch, just not strong enough to get to Pelletier. Great thought, though. Played forward, Marty Bartis with some space to work. She needs to dribble with it, though, instead of passing like she has in the past. Calder recovers. Marty Bartis got by her, drops it off for Pascal, and then finally cleared away by Rolling. Again, decent space and room to work for CSU. Played forward, and Nicholson's going to win this foot race. Molman not much left in the tank. Pelletier in the center. Was onside. It gets through everybody. Tori Hood winning the race over to it. Walling working with her. They play it to Marks. Marks lets Villaverde go by. Taylor will fire at the net, and it'll slide wide right of the near post. Pearson and Corsione coming back. Hood and Nicholson coming off. More fresh legs for CSU for the final 6-minute charge. Good minutes that time out of Nicholson and Hood. Back to the front line forwards for CSU. Corsione, Pelletier, and Pearson. Closing in on 5.5 to go. Miss-hit header that time by Shelby Rolling. Goes out into the Laker bench. Lucy Cunningham coming back. Villaverde will sit. Rather, she'll stand. There's nobody sitting here on the sideline for either of these two teams outside of the entire CSU coaching staff. Just hanging out. Marks switches directions on the field for Wade. Larice flying up from her outside back spot, trying to trigger the offense. Pelletier able to get around Edvardson for a moment, looking for a cross. She plays the diagonal ball, but there was someone waiting for it that time, and here comes the throw. Whereas overtime number 1 was spent in the attacking third of the Lakers for much of the time, this one has been spent in CSU's end. Nobody has been able to hit pay dirt just yet. Under 5 to go. Bortles trying to play a long one. Pascal has some room to work. Pascal, Sauer chasing. Pascal shot, saved, grabbed out of the air by Malin Parsons. Pascal, who has struggled to find some energy lately, found it there when she needed. Hit the turbo button and kicked it into high gear. Pearson now on the counter. Had it stepped away for a moment. Corsione into the center. And it'll wind up with McCormick. Down at 4:10 to go. CSU tripling the Lakers in the shot column right now. But even in the scoreboard. Calder doesn't get the clearance cleanly. Pascal working with her. Bortles to the center. Sauer deflects it for a moment. Rolling will clear. Every play so important right now. No time for mishits, misfires, or anything. Pearson not on side for the moment. Corsione battling with Molman. Going to the far side. Larice playing over there. Dove with it. Couple of defenders there, and they'll finally get the foul against CSU. Closing in on 3 minutes to go now. Both sides staring down a draw, but they'd love to snatch victory away from the other. Free kick gets over the head of Marty Bartis. CSU trying to get back on the attack with Pearson. Pearson with some patience. Off to Larice, looking for their options. Marks in the center can set it up. Swings it out wide for Pearson. 3 players out in front of her, and a foul coming against Edvardson takes Pearson down at midfield. 2.5 minutes to go. Casey Davis will walk up from her center back spot, take this one from midfield. Chances now are limited from here on out. You better make it count or you're looking at a draw. Davis stings one towards the 18. Bounces up in the air. Second touch belongs to Schmidt. And now space to work for Marty Bartis. Just 3 defenders back, but she hits it. Going for Pascal again, though. Just a situation where she had room to dribble and chose not to. Pascal trying to play it over the top. Marty Bartis looking to get on the end of it. Cut off by Larice, cleared by Davis. Schmidt off to Dove, right side now. Larice, one-on-one, off to Cunningham. Cunningham, shot, goal, Clayton State wins. Lucy Cunningham nets her 12th goal of the season. And Cunningham, the game winner, flips the script on CSU from 2 years ago. It was a 3-2 overtime or double overtime victory for the Lady Cougars 2 years ago here, and now it's a 3-2 double overtime victory for the Lakers to keep them in the hunt in this Peach Belt Conference regular season race. The Lakers hand the Lady Cougars their first loss of the season. First loss of the season for the number 2 team, and now it will be a big-time showdown for them on Wednesday with North Georgia. It takes on even more importance than it originally had because the Lady Cougars have to have it to stay alive in the Peach Belt Conference race. Caitlin Dove sets up the final shot. Lucy Cunningham nets the winning goal, and the Lakers, all smiles, walking off the field here at the Walden Soccer Complex with a 3-2 victory. For the Lady Cougars, a tough loss and the first time they've tasted defeat this season as the Lakers hand them a loss in the regular season for the second consecutive year. Collins scored the first one. Kolwitz tied it at 1. Marty Bartis, her 12th, gave the Lakers the lead. Taylor Marks on a penalty kick, tied it at 2. And then in double overtime, the 12th goal of the year for Lucy Cunningham. The transfer from the University of Memphis gives the Lakers a 3-2 victory and moves Clayton State to 13-2 overall, 8-1 in Peach Belt Conference play. Columbus State drops their first of the year. They're 11-1-1, 6-1-0 in Peach Belt Conference action. Lady Cougars have one more home game remaining. That'll be next Saturday. They'll take on Lander on Senior Day, 3 o'clock. The start time here from the Walden Soccer Complex. The next time we're on the air on Cougar Sports TV, Friday night, 6 days from now, October the 24th. Flagler in town for volleyball action with the Lady Cougars. And we will have that for you here on Cougar Sports TV. That'll wrap us up here on this Saturday afternoon. A dramatic finish to everything here at the Walden Soccer Complex. Clayton State wins it 3-2 in double overtime. For everybody at Columbus State University and Cougar Sports TV, this is Stephen Williams saying so long from Columbus, Georgia.